I have that same guitar. I was like, oh, that is my guitar.
How are you? We're good. Welcome to the house. Thank you for having us. This is full circle for you. You played a bunch of house shows in the early days. You played many golf shows, yeah. I mean, the career has been, the career of this band has been pretty cool. I was like, from like 14-year-old standpoint, like, when I grew 100% fully realized all of my teenage pickup dreams, and that's incredible. Yeah. Just playing Green must be a real trick, because that's your first show, wasn't it? My first concert ever. Yeah, not just first punk show, just first concert ever. What was your name of that first show? I remember that we could ask my friend Dustin, who went with us, we had Dustin's dad to drive us, and I remember we took a spray on here, the other guy went green, and then by the end of the show, we all sweated down and got skating green, and I remember seeing a waiting for the movie to come on, and they were playing Rancid over the head. And I don't know who Rancid was. There was two girls in front of us who were it's this one movie to come on. And then everybody in this one were this is working. And I was going their first experience, I guess, with punk rock, even it isn't really secure, but also feeling cool. The first thing you get to feel cool is a real thing. Yeah. And I had John Dick Kennedy's logo on the shirt I was wearing. And I remember a way older than me punker. It was cool shit, kid. You know what I'm saying? Awesome. And so was that first time you were actually on stage playing the same tour? What's that with us? Well, the first time we went to the stages in 2005 at the United Stadium, and that was just unreal. I mean, flying into Newark and literally flying over a giant stadium, and I was looking out the plane window and saw the stage down below the plane. And I mean, there were so many sort of moments that night, there's flying nature, and then playing a show, and looking back, and you're whoa, pretty cool, and I'm really doing watching our band right now. This is there's the dancing soul, so it was really a great feeling. Afterwards, I remember this was my favorite moment was when the band was playing when September ends. I went out in the audience and we were watching it, and Kenny G was there with his kids. And so that was Blackface cell phone, and it was raving in the air. So surreal, so surreal. That's pretty amazing. When you realize all the punk rock people comes next, what are you debating this? I don't know. I mean, that's not to say we're going lacking ambition in any way. It's just a really great feeling of having, feeling okay, feeling it isn't a trail, you're just, now going into the unknown, and, is it a second career for you? I honestly, really feel I've been able to look at it in a healthy way as far as, if I'm all in my life and if you're really committed to something, you have to accept that there'll be peaks and valleys, and that, there'll just be different stages in what you're doing, and, sometimes people get really into it, and other times people will go into a record, and sometimes, it just things happen, the pictures and everything. Well, there's so much work you have to do to be okay with that, because a lot of artists are artists, and it's hard to figure that out. I think it's really about getting in the middle, and making sure that you take it all kind of in the same way. You take the criticism in the same way as you take the praise, and if that's not making or breaking your reason, if you're doing what you're doing, and just looking for the positive in any situation, or what you're going to make out of what's going on, as opposed to being consumed by it, is how I try to always do it. As Band has changed and new dynamics come in, how do you feel about it? So that's always been a good, the thing I think it's, the band doesn't have a mythology of, 4 people in Intreview and picked up doing something, so this was when it was born, it was always a building project, where then I realized, it's always fun to play with other people, and especially when starting out younger, realizing, okay, well, we're not making money off this, so, I'm going to have to accept that people are going to come and go. If I'm going to keep doing it, then, find other people to do it, and having the flexibility to be one person, 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, that keeps it interesting, and, to me, honestly, entering with, change life as far as, a drummer or rhythm section, it just totally changes your possibilities of what's in your songs, and it also helps me, the older songs, sometimes older songs are pride, and, with less interest in playing, just because there's no life to it, and no approach. Well, and if you I don't want to do others, if you think we'll play it on basis, it's okay. I've played a lot of shows with a lot of other bands, too. Totally. Really cool bands as well. Right, if the teachers need to know what a band's going to commit, 100%, yeah, and I trust me, it's not lost on me, and I keep out regularly while I have those moments where I look back and I think, oh my god, it's the drummer from American from the Kid. Oh my god, it was totally international arts. I went to this, and that's not really nothing, you know, like, but I just know too that it's like, okay, it's so amazing to be in a place where like everyone's at that same level, like we're all doing it for the same reasons. Everyone is completely committed to their own thing, whether like drums, bass, guitar, whatever. And everyone's on the same page like that, as opposed to like struggling and fighting because not everyone's really committed to the same vision. It's really good.
Well, that's one of the things about MSP that I love so much, especially when I from the early days listening to it, to maintain, but right around the early time, it's just how engaged socially it was, not politically, but socially. Shows as a responsible band, and I always respected so much that you did that, and you did it before everybody started hating George Bush. Like he was part of the DA against Bush at the very beginning, sure, yeah, and that's the thing in the yeah.
I mean, and honestly, I try to have that perspective now with like the Trump administration of being like, all right, you know, this we started when we did the Clinton presidency, and then there was the election in Obama, and now here we are in Trump, you know, and that was, you know, those are lessons that like my punk elders passed down to me, you know, and especially like translating that on a personal level of like that it's not just about saying like the system or something like that, that the relations are political, the way you interact with people, the way you treat friends, the way you treat them, the way you socialize is a political act.
In fact, it's the most important kind of politics, isn't it?
That's the most important, yeah.
But the good president's alone is political, just by making money.
I don't take that for granted, for sure.
And as a responsibility as well.
Sure, yeah.
You like that?
I don't look at it as a like, I just look at like, that's the fact.
Right. And you see the power in it too, of course.
Sure. So I mean, some of that's like a little bit selfish and survival, like of knowing like, okay, walking into situations of transportation, especially in realizing like if you make someone uncomfortable, of like for so long you've been a really trans person who's scared of who they are, of realizing like, oh, actually I have the power of me right now because you're really uncomfortable with me, as opposed to being intimidated because someone's, you know, like uncomfortable with you, you know, that doesn't make any sense.
It's almost like the last thing you spoke, which is so interesting, that you would be on stage and you would see somebody who would transition, and you would be looking at them over the course of like your career and your relationship with them, and seeing them go through this, and how much that was really inspiring to you. For sure, my relationship with your fans is so insane. I remember when I started making it, how people freaked out. How did that feel for you when that was happening?
You know, it felt like you're fighting with a friend. You know, where it was like you wanted your friend to be able to understand from your side, and like at the same time you're realizing that there's certain things, especially with women, where like there's certain things about me that I know I'm not telling you fully, but at the same time I'm really scared that if I were to tell you that how you would react, or we're in this relationship together, and I wish I just trust you on this. So that was kind of the dynamic oftentimes.
And I think also that, and I don't think about this on the air, that when you're living the street anyway, artistically, you're not making choices that different. Sure, in that scenario.
Sure, yeah, totally. I mean, and really, like, when I was studying Desire, like, that was a lot of what motivated by, like, the history of the label, and the Ramones, man. The Ramones were business, and even, like, for me, like, Madonna, some more songs, Madonna, and Madonna was, like, my first memory of, like, wanting to be a musician was seeing Madonna. So to have that opportunity to work, like, right where that lineage was always, like, something I was, like, really excited about.
You know, when do you feel like you're the most Madonna on stage? Do you ever feel that?
I don't my most purple, my most Madonna area, I'm gonna say probably the Intreview.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I think you know this is important, especially if you have funk rock roots, right?
Sure.
I remember I was very lucky to interview Joe Strummer about a year before he passed, and he said to me, so many artists are trying to timeless, because that's not their responsibility. The responsibility is of the time, you know, and one of them, who we were listening to, that was that.
And I was coming up with all the bands that are very much of my time.
You know, more time is we make more time.
Right, sure. I mean, the English was my band, sort of their band, so I put it up initially, like, Crass, one of the guitar sound as well. And the existence of which was like, no, damn, you know.
It's real heavy, but it's like real shit.
It was, you know, all seemed connected to me, you know, like, the Bay Area scene, like all those different, like, it kind of has changed now because of the internet. So there are those pockets where it's like, oh, well, it's okay, like, there's no interest in it. Like, there's like, oh, party tourists, so like, really into this whole thing, they're jumping on like thing, and that's fun, because it doesn't sound like this other thing, it's homogenized. So those things, like, really influence me, and I just, like, try to draw from everywhere, and bands into it. Yeah, it's really, it's amazing. Thanks for coming today. Yeah, I'm so thankful that you're going to play that. It's going to be packed in nuts. What a pleasure. Thanks, George.